How are we making these mistakes? We've never made these mistakes in, I think, the entirety of our production career, right?
Definitely not. Like some of the mistakes we've made are
The mic went out of
battery.
the camera went out of battery, and just for your information, we're recording the audio there. There's the mic, and yeah, because the cameras that we're using don't have an out, they only have an in, so we were not able to monitor. Forget about all of that.
Nitty gritty. It's fine. In the larger scheme of things.
Yeah.
Ready?
Yes.
Long time.
Oh, Satwik, how long have we been thinking about this?
I feel like ever since we started Mutter, I remember when we were starting Mutter in like that 1 BHK, and we would just talk about down the line having our own content, creating our own content. Everything wahan se so many plans that we just so close to came to executing and dropped it because the situation wasn't suitable, and now we are finally starting this off.
I think we never got the time. I think that's with most people like us.
Yeah.
Like we are so engrossed in creating content for clients that we never end up doing for ourselves. So I think we're one of the fortunate ones who've gotten the chance today to do so.
It's a sad truth about creators that you get into the rat race of it, and it's a very difficult vote to find the balance between creativity and the hustle culture that it is, and sadly वो दोनों साथ में नहीं आते. So वही hustle के चक्कर में we कहीं lost track of what we actually want to make out, we actually want to create.
Absolutely.
So I think
absolutely. So taking like going in rewind a little bit, right? Let's try to share what our story is, where we've begun. So what about you? Where did your passion for photography and where did your love for this field start? What was that thing?
So I think it started with I went with a couple of my friends to Lalbagh garden में, and उस समय I was the guy that would carry the camera back. There was camera नहीं था उस समय.
Just Lal Bagh is a garden in
garden. So it's a big garden. It's a beautiful garden. It's definitely one place where every creator I feel goes to start off. So it was Ashim that I went with, and I was assisting Ashim in Lal Bagh garden mein, where he was clicking pictures of a couple of friends, basically a friendly shoot. And wahan se I started, I was fascinated with the way he was capturing light and poses and everything, and I was like, this is something that I might enjoy. And wahan se doston ka camera leke and aisa karke we just started off, and then obviously I joined Mutter Media. And I guess that is where I started creating sort of commercially, started creating as a job. So with Mutter Media, when I started off, and 2 years, chote mote projects karke. I remember our first project was the first project that I shot, like photo, was a sort of a pre-wedding shoot. I don't remember the name of the client anymore. It was
of course you don't.
But we went there. We had a makeup artist and everything who basically did makeup for 15 minutes and just sat 3 घंटे. We वहाँ से we did, and then we उसके बाद से it's just
a long time.
It was like
more than
creating 2 years. हर एक हफ्ते के बाद हफ्ता, महीने के बाद महीना type. And it's been an amazing journey अभी तक.
I think for me it was when I just finished my 11th standard. I was very fascinated with the photography team of my school. They used to make amazing. So I was in Kota. Unlike most people, I didn't do IIT. I didn't do any coaching, and I was
being in Kota.
Despite being in Kota, yes,
definitely.
I think that's an anomaly there. So I was in Kota, and I joined a commerce 11th, 12th standard, like normal what usually kids are supposed to do, right? So I did that. And in 11th standard, I was very fascinated about my photography, like the photography team in my school. So I think what happened was because of my fascination, I was like, okay, let me give it a shot. And I've seen that I used to try out a lot of things. And so I was supposed to go to Auto Expo 2015 or 16, I think 2016, Auto Expo 2016. And Auto Expo was supposed to happen in Noida, Delhi. And that was happening on 4th Feb. 2nd Feb, I bought my first camera, Canon 700D with kit lenses.
Yeah.
Took that camera, read through the whole manual in the train with no experience of camera. And probably took some pictures there. And I was just like having the time of my life with my camera. People were asking me, why aren't you taking selfies with, supercars and supermodels? I was like, dude, like you won't understand. This is so new and I'm so fascinated. So that was my first experience, and after that I went to into the wildlife phase, and I went into different Ranthambore Park, Kevaladev National Sanctuary. So took some decent pictures, and that was my initial love for photography. And then I think from there I wanted to become a photojournalist. Hence I joined Christ. Lol, 3 years down the line I dropped out, started a media company, and here we are creating content.
I feel like being along with you, you've gone through a lot of phases where you discovered photography, discovered videography, became a creator, then became an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
So you've covered sort of a lot of aspects of this field itself.
I think even right now, even after heading project management at Mutter, I still love to take on some particular project that I'm really interested in. So currently I'm directing a documentary for a client, and they're into the EV space. So we have to sort of cover the journey of the founder and how the whole story came together to found that company coming into place. So very interesting project, and I have the liberty to choose my project. So I think again it has been the struggles of the past 3-4 years that I can do that. So coming on to Satwik, us creating content and us wanting to create content, we started this, right? And what is this? So let's just to throw a little bit of light on what is this.
So as specifically this is our TBG podcast, the Big Gig podcast, which I feel like we both are amazingly passionate about. Zooming out, what is the Big Gig? So the Big Gig is sort of a community of creators in India right now. And we'll definitely in future pan out, obviously, because creators are all over the world. But India needs this community right now, because every small town like Kota, even, Kota is like famous for just like coachings and, studying and IITians and NEET and all that. But वहाँ पे भी creators होते हैं. And ऐसे छोटे budding creators are everywhere in India. And उनको एक sort of platform देना, उनको एक community देना कि कि bro तू create कर, हम तेरे को जो चाहिए, help चाहिए, resources चाहिए, हम दिलवाएंगे, तू बस create कर भाई, तू अपना world का. So वो community is the big gig.
I think more than a community, I think it's an ecosystem that we're trying to build. And in order to sort of simplify the term creator, because I think creator is a very widely used term in the industry right now. So I think by creator we mean every person who is aspiring to be a photographer, a filmmaker, or anyone who is not just wanting to be a creative profession, or anyone who's passionate about it, but even anyone who's just thinking about a camera and how does it work. So I think that's the sort of audience that we want to cater to, and that's why.
And it's a big audience. It's from someone who like was just obsessed with NEET coaching. I had seen a DSLR. Yes, I had clicked, I think, in the but वो like दिमाग में नहीं आया कि this is a prominent field in India. Like there is like people like me out there. So अगर ऐसा कुछ community मिलता है, and like if I actually follow these people, meet these people, talk to them, interact with them, definitely I would have made better life choices and started this subway before.
So when you were starting up, who were the sort of people that you were looking up to? I'm sure there were very few Indian creators. So
definitely
who did you look up to?
Very few. Okay, so I think there is this one guy. हर किसी को पता होगा. That guy is my like one guy that I starting में, and अभी I follow is Peter McKinnon, definitely. उसके बाद you have amazing creators like Daniel Schiffer, Then I came down to creators like Anup Jekat, who I found through First December Films, and Joseph Radek, and my favorite one being maybe Audi Photography. And so yeah, Indian creators, these guys like जिनके पास resources इतनी lavish resources, amazing locations वगैरह नहीं थी, but were still creating breathtaking pieces. So I think वहाँ से Indian creators बाद में है, but definitely
creators in general around
yeah, and जो मेरी style है अभी भी like wedding वगैरह में जो भी होता है, the creators that I most look up to are Joseph Radek and Audi Photography.
I think for me, my journey started with Casey Neistat. So I have a tattoo of Casey Neistat on my hand with his name. So I think I look up to Casey Neistat's storytelling style and his just passion for keeping creating content. And I think यार Casey Neistat में ना वो जुनून है, like मतलब it's like you can't live without creating content. So I think that is very important for me because I try to keep creating something or the other once in a while. It may be a blog or client projects or anything, but I think creating for yourself, and this is one way where we're trying to express our creativity and our expression of the content that we want to create. So Casey Neistat was there, and then
another thing I feel like Casey Neistat Casey Neistat has वो कि it's never too late to create वाली बात. Casey Neistat was an army official, then a filmmaker also, but and after like I think in his 30s, late 30s towards like वहाँ पे उसने he started his blog journey, which like
I think it was late 20s. I'm not sure.
Late 20s, early 30s. In that phase, he started his blog journey, which sort of brought him and not Neistat brothers, but brought Casey Neistat into the limelight. So वो भी था like definitely a huge inspiring factor for me about Casey Neistat. Who was like the other creators though?
I think apart from Casey, it was MKBHD. I still follow MKBHD and sort of journey he has. It's not technically I mean, not calling him a filmmaker would be an insult. He's a great filmmaker.
He's a good filmmaker, definitely.
But again, YouTube content creator in a tech reviewer sort of a setting. But he's an entrepreneur. He is a filmmaker, and he has a great personality. So everything that I look up to in a person, he has all the qualities, and he's not as loud as Casey. So he's on the opposite spectrum of personality. He's very humble and he's very sort of held back in his approaches. Casey is like,
very grounded type.
Casey is like, I'm just gonna do every fucking thing out there in this space, right? So that's Casey. I love both. It's not like I prefer one over the other.
No, they're very tough to compare these two. Very different aesthetics, very different modus operandi types, like and very different fields also. That is definitely there.
So I think after I started my filmmaking journey when I was in first year of college, I was trying to sort of look that, okay, there are creators in the West, but there should be creators in India as well, right? I mean, if I am looking up to Casey Neistat, that might be 100 other people who are looking up to Casey Neistat, and I was searching who are these people. So I found 3 particular people. One was Hopping Bug.
Okay.
Second was Ankit Bhatia, and third was Mohnish Toltani. And all 3 of them, they create travel vlog type of content, but they have their own personalities, and they've gone on touring also together for a few times, and it's really fascinating to see Indian creators sort of creating YouTube content and sustaining themselves. I think Hopping Bug has a full-time job and he does it on the side. Ankit is a full-time creator. I think even he had a job and then he quit and he started creating full-time. Same thing goes with Mohnish. Mohnish is of our age. He shifted from Nagpur to, I think, Mumbai recently or Goa, one of those cities. And he's creating content from there. So I think these were the people that I sort of got introduced to, and I got hooked to their content. I was watching their content for a very long time. So that was, I think, my journey of evolving as a content consumer. I think, but again, still the problem that I saw was I have my thoughts, I have my people that I look up to, but who do I talk to about it?
Yeah.
So I was having a void in myself with respect to who should I talk and match that wavelength. Because on Instagram you can like there's only so many people that you can find, right? It's no like-minded community. So I was trying to see, okay, where is that community that I can be a part of? And I think after ideating for almost 2.5 years, here we are trying to create that ourselves. So
and it's not just about having those creative thoughts also, but many people that I personally know who are like 100 times more creative than me, are held back by thinking कि इस फील्ड में फ्यूचर है क्या, क्योंकि उनको वो they don't know the opportunities that you can get as a photographer or a filmmaker. So knowing the right people like Ayush Giri, I met, and he sort of opened my mind to कि okay, there is actually a job in this field that you can do. उसके बाद then definitely when I met you guys and we started working together, and journey is like obviously difficult because वो base नहीं है अभी इंडिया में, community exposure opportunities आ रही हैं but अभी है नहीं, they're not like sustainable. And obviously छोटे शहरों में even भोपाल, कोटा, नागपुर, इन सब शहरों में लोगों को उतना पता भी नहीं है. So having a big community across the nation definitely brings that exposure.
I think not with. So I just wanted to dive in deep about the big gig. I think the big gig overall aspires to be a platform which can provide gigs, which is actual work to the creators, sort of help them in renting equipment, buying equipment, upskilling themselves, and sort of meet like-minded people. So that's the vision of TBG, to create an ecosystem where we creators can thrive and learn from each other. So I think that's the underlying goal and vision.
I mean, that's like YouTube, although we have all sort of learned a major chunk of our stuff from YouTube, but having a person to be there कि नहीं इसके बाद ऐसा कर, just to sort of watch, even for small itsy bitsy things like small curving and all that. अगर एक बंदा होता है सिखाने के लिए, it's definitely a bigger plus than learning from YouTube.
I agree. I think that mentorship is really needed in this field, because it can really shorten your curve of learning and making the mistakes. Because I have made so many mistakes. When I bought my camera, I bought the 2 kit lenses with it, which is, you barely use kit lenses after a while. You, I think, have a different opinion on that. I feel buying a body and a prime lens is sort of a good investment rather than the kit lenses.
Okay. See, I'll come, it's just that I have recently fallen very much in love with the wide bow.
Okay.
And a kit lens is nice, standard, vlogging ke liye, especially when you are on the go. You because prime lenses mein you have the worrying about focus, agar nahi hota to काफी difference दिखता है in a prime lens. On a kit lens, separation is not that much time. So that's why I like kit lens is on the go wala lens for me.
I think I'm just gonna get a coffee and come. And,
Definitely.
Actually, I think a coffee is needed, and then we'll continue. Coffee break it is.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, coffee बहाना था, कैमरे की बैटरी खत्म हो रही थी, and there was no one to monitor. So, I mean,
troubleshooting.
What is there to hide?
Okay.
Yeah, Satwik. So, continuing the conversation where we left after coffee, right?
Yeah.
How are we making these mistakes? We've never made these mistakes in, I think, the entirety of our production career, right?
Definitely not. Some of the mistakes we've made are...
The mic went out of battery. The camera went out of battery. And just for your information, we're recording the audio there. There's the mic. And because the cameras that we're using don't have an out, they only have an in, so we were not able to monitor. Forget about all of that.
Nitty-gritty. It's fine. In the larger scheme of things.
Yeah, I'm sure these won't matter. I think, so coming to what type of content would we be producing on this podcast?
Educational, definitely educational, inspirational, and sort of entertaining in a way. Definitely. Like that would be like a nice marriage.
Tell me specific
between
things.
the three.
Yeah, educational
Oh,
inspiration is like
okay.
beer biceps sort of content. Tell me something.
So okay. We're gonna have career breakdowns definitely of creators that we all the entire community looks up to, creators ranging from Peter McKinnon, Casey Neistat to Edgar Wright to Joseph Radek to Anup Jekart, all the creators. It's a long journey. We'll have career breakdowns, we'll have movie breakdowns, we'll have conversations with creators that have worked in agencies or are freelancing, and how their how they've built their name in the field, how they've built their niche, and how are they sustaining that niche, and talking about their different styles. We'll also introduce concepts like colder creative and how that is valued, and different like stuff like this. And
I think I really want to get people from our community, which is already there. I think we have a community of around 300 odd people from Bangalore and Mumbai. So I think I'm gonna really like talk to people about what has been their journey, what has been their experience, and sort of look for stories that we can talk about in this podcast too. So I think one particular episode that I want to do is with Garv, talking about his experience with Colder Creative. So recently he made a video for Music Bed,
and he got featured on Colder Creative.
he got featured on Colder Creative. So
insane.
that was insane, yeah. Like we look up to Sam Colder and the kind of shit he makes, and then
and the best thing is, like, on Colder Creative, like a lot of people created videos for Music Bed. His video is the only one that got featured. So
there were 5 videos that got featured. He was one of them.
Oh, I haven't checked then, I guess, the page for a long time.
Yeah. so his video was, I think, among the top 5 which got selected worldwide. And his face is the last post on Colder Creative's thumbnail as the date that we're shooting this podcast on. So I think I really want to call Garv on this podcast to talk about how is his Colder Creative journey. I think apart from that, I also want to talk about competitions like IFP and is film school really worth it? Being in India. So in India, what are the options we have for film school? We have Whistling Woods, we have FTIN, which again are for the top 1% of people who are aspiring to be filmmakers, right? And most of the people, are taught by creators on YouTube. I think neither of us have been to film school.
Definitely.
Christ wouldn't be considered as
we had 2 semesters, 2 classes of media.
Yeah. So definitely if Christ is not a film school, it will give you a lot many things apart from teaching filmmaking that you have to learn outside.
It's a communication and media course. Yeah. Not filmmaking or photography.
Yeah. So just we would want to establish that fact.
It's a good communication, just in case we don't want to miss out on sponsorships and stuff. It's a good communication and media course, but not filmmaking.
Yes. Apart from that, I would also want to create a lot of content on gear on this platform. Because I think in India, we don't have access to the fancy gear that creators from the US do. And the prices also that we get these equipment is higher and we get paid lower. So it's like हम क्या करें मर जाएं ऐसी वाली situation.
I feel like across the field, creators consume the most amount of media that we consume is gear oriented. So definitely like that connect that we will have with we have with people, the understanding of gear that we ourselves have is just
name 5 filmmaking gear YouTubers of the
filmmaking gear YouTubers
that you follow on a day.
Peter McKinnon, obviously. Has to be Peter McKinnon. I don't know Daniel Schiffer is filmmaking or not, but
no, I'm talking about gear review. People who talk about primarily gear review.
Jerry London.
Peter
McKinnon. Full-time filmmaker, that is Parker Wahlbeck. And you have MKBHD also. He does reviews.
A bit of camera,
Yes, but quite intensive, red camera reviews and stuff. And
so many other people, Kai W, Potato Jet.
Oh, Kai W, I love Pro Photos. Chronos Photos, yes.
Jared
Paul. Oh god, insane.
And there's Chris Haas and I think a lot many
Sam
people.
Newton.
Yeah. So So I think there are a lot of gear reviewers.
There are
So
a lot of gear reviews.
I would love to be a part of that club.
And like these are still gear reviews which are not Indian. You know what I mean? Because in India, you don't get red cameras so easily accessible.
Yeah.
So we might have talking about a gear like Rode Wireless Go that we are using right now. These are questions that a newborn creator faces. That what is the best mic to invest in? What are the best budget lights to invest in? So not many people talk about the beginner stuff, which I think we need to bring into the market ourselves.
I agree. I think, and it's also about us learning as creators as well, because we're just starting up. So I think it's mostly going to be about our sort of mind space in terms of what we want to create. So it's also a creative expression.
I mean, isn't that at the niche of TBG? The entire community learns together.
Yeah.
So that's definitely.
I think if there are suggestions that y'all have, y'all want us to review gear, y'all want us to do challenges. I mean, it's our community as much as yours. So I think whatever we see in the comments and the engagement, we would love to create.
Yeah, we definitely want to create stuff for you guys, with you guys. So if there's anything that you guys like, even like smallest of ideas that you have, leave it in the comments. And if it's possible, if it's definitely like if it's possible, feasible, we'll definitely execute it the best way we can.
Done.